Welcome to Books Arena. In this video, we dive into How to Talk to Anyone, 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships by Lyle Lowndes, a book full of simple, proven techniques to help you connect, converse, and build rapport in any situation. Ever felt nervous in a crowd? Struggled to find words with someone new? Or wondered how some people seem to navigate any conversation with confidence and ease? This book offers practical tools you can use right now. Whether it's making a memorable first impression, keeping small talk fresh, or steering conversations your way without sounding pushy, Lowndes guides you step by step. Each of the 92 tricks uses storytelling and real-life examples to make communication feel natural, not forced. From warming up your smile so it feels genuine, to crafting questions that let others talk about what lights them up, this book turns everyday conversations into moments of connection. Ready to stop being awkward and start being appreciated? Let's begin. Part 1, First Impressions and Confident Body Language. Picture this. You're walking into a room full of strangers. Maybe it's a networking event, a wedding, or even just your first day at a new job. Everyone seems to already know someone. Laughter here. Handshakes there. You feel like the outsider. What do? This is where Lyle Lowndes steps in. Her book How to Talk to Anyone begins with one simple idea. The first few seconds matter more than you think. The power of a first impression. According to Lowndes, people form lasting impressions in the first 7 seconds of meeting you. That's it? Just 7 seconds. And what do they base it on? Not your resume. Not your deep thoughts. Not your accomplishments. But your body language. Your posture. Your presence. Let's take an example. Meet Raj. He's smart, thoughtful, and kind. But in social settings, he often slouches, avoids eye contact, and fidgets with his phone. Despite his great personality, people see him as shy or uninterested. Then there's Zara. She walks into the same room with her shoulders back, chin up, and a warm smile. She doesn't speak right away, but people are already curious about her. Zara hasn't said a word. But the room is already listening. Trick 1. The flooding smile. Lowndes says the secret isn't just smiling, it's how you smile. Most people flash a quick, polite smile out of habit. But people who make lasting impressions use what she calls the flooding smile. Here's how it works. Don't smile immediately. First, look at the person for just a second. Then slowly let the smile spread across your face, as if they truly made your day. It's warm. It's genuine. It says, you matter. This small delay creates a powerful feeling, like the smile is just for them, not a general, automatic grin. Trick 2, sticky eyes. Next comes eye contact. Not the creepy kind. Lowndes says to maintain eye contact just a little longer than usual, especially after the person finishes speaking. This shows confidence, interest, and makes people feel heard. It's not about staring. It's about being present. Let's go back to Raj. Once he practiced holding eye contact for just 2 to 3 seconds longer than he was used to, people started describing him as attentive and engaging even though he hadn't changed what he said. Just how he looked at people while listening. Trick 3, epoxy eyes. This takes sticky eyes up a notch. When you're in a group and someone's telling a story, keep your eyes mainly on the person you're most interested in connecting with, even if others are talking. They'll feel a deeper connection to you, even if you haven't exchanged words yet. It's subtle, but powerful. Trick 4, don't be a big baby. Lowndes also talks about how posture reveals confidence. A lot of adults unconsciously move like toddlers in new settings, shuffling feet, fidgeting, keeping their hands near their face or pockets. To change that, imagine this: you are royalty. A king or queen walking into your court. You stand tall, walk slowly, and move with intention. No rushing. No nervous twitches. Just presence. Your posture tells the world you belong even before you speak. Trick 5, the hello that says everything. When greeting someone, whether it's hi, hello, or hey there, Lowndes recommends changing your tone based on who you're speaking to. With friends, warm and energetic. With professionals, calm and confident. It's a simple tweak, but it makes the other person feel you've matched their energy, and that builds trust immediately. Trick 6, use your hands, but carefully. Gestures can amplify what you're saying. But random fidgeting can send the opposite signal. So here's the trick: Use open, relaxed hand movements when talking, especially when explaining something. Keep your hands visible. Palms up means openness. Tightly crossed arms. That's a red flag for distance or discomfort. Even if you don't speak, your body is already having a conversation. Make sure it says what you want it to say. Trick 7, the pause is powerful. Most people rush when nervous. But confidence lives in pauses. Take a moment before responding. Nod thoughtfully. Use short pauses between your points. It shows you're composed and helps your words carry more weight. Let's bring it all together with one final story. Imagine Zara again. She walks into a room full of unfamiliar faces. She pauses at the door. Straightens her shoulders. She walks in slowly, makes soft eye contact, and greets the host with a warm, delayed smile. She uses open hand gestures as she speaks. Her tone matches the room's energy. She listens. She holds her eye contact just a little longer when someone talks. In under 5 minutes, she becomes the most memorable person in the room. Not because of what she said but because of how she made others feel. That's the magic of Lyle Lowndes' first lessons. People listen before you speak, so make your entrance count. Smile like you mean it. Hold eye contact like you care. Stand like you belong. Because you do. Part 2, starting great conversations and keeping them going. Let's say you've made a great first impression. You walked in with confidence, smiled warmly, held good eye contact, and stood tall. Now comes the tricky part. What do you say? How do you start a conversation without sounding awkward or rehearsed? This is where many people freeze. But Lyle Lowndes breaks it down with practical, simple techniques that anyone can learn and apply even if you're shy or introverted. The icebreaker problem. Imagine this. You're standing next to someone at a party. You want to talk, but nothing comes to mind. You reach for the classic. So, what do? It's not terrible. But it often leads to dull, predictable replies. Lowndes offers a better approach. Instead of jumping into facts, start with what she calls the big baby words, words that focus on emotions, senses, or personal experiences. Why? Because people connect over feelings, not just facts. Trick 8, the what's your story? Starter. Let's say you're meeting someone new. Instead of asking, where are you from? Try. What's your story? This small shift opens the door for more than just geography. It lets them share anything: work, dreams, hobbies, family. It's casual, but surprisingly deep. Let's imagine a scene. You're at a cafe. You meet Priya, who just moved to the city. You ask, so what's your story? She laughs and says, well, I was a teacher in Delhi, then I moved here to start a baking business. Now you have multiple threads: teaching, moving, baking. Each one can lead to an engaging follow-up. That's the beauty of the what's your story opener. It invites conversation, not just a one-word answer. Trick 9, use the echo technique. One of the easiest and most powerful ways to keep a conversation going is to echo the last few words the other person said, but as a question. For example, they say, I just got back from a trip to Japan. You reply, a trip to Japan. They smile and begin describing sushi, temples, Tokyo streets. It works because it shows interest without having to think of something clever to say. People love to expand on things they brought up. You just have to invite them to do it. Trick 10, never ask boring questions. Lowndes warns against the usual small talk traps. What do? Where are you from? How's the weather? Instead, she recommends replacing them with curiosity-driven questions. Ask about their passions, challenges, or recent experiences. For instance, what's keeping you busy lately? Have you read or watched anything interesting this week? If you could instantly master a skill, what would it be? These kinds of questions surprise people in a good way, and they make you instantly more memorable. Trick 11, the latest news lifeline. Don't know what to talk about? Stay informed on just 1 or 2 interesting headlines before social events. It doesn't have to be serious news, it can be tech, sports, entertainment, or even a quirky story. This gives you an easy entry point into small talk. Imagine this. You walk up to a group chatting. Someone mentions AI. You add, did you hear about that new robot that can mimic emotions? Suddenly, You're part of the group. A little preparation goes a long way. Trick 12, avoid me too syndrome. Here's a subtle mistake people make. Someone says, I love hiking. And you jump in, me too. I go every weekend. It seems friendly. But Lowndes explains if you do this too quickly, it shifts the spotlight back to you, which can cut off their story. Instead, let them talk more about their experience before you relate it to yours. For example, them, I love hiking. You, oh really? Where do you usually go? Only after they've had space to talk, you can say, that's awesome, I go to the trails near the lake sometimes. Now, it's a shared moment instead of a one-up. Trick 13, use the naked job title. If someone asks, what do you do, and you say, I'm an accountant, the conversation might end there. But Lowndes suggests using what she calls the naked job title trick. Instead of just naming your job, describe what your work really means. For example, instead of I'm a software developer, say, I help companies make apps that people actually want to use. Or instead of I'm a teacher, say, I help teenagers figure out what they're good at before they even realize it. This sparks interest and opens up natural questions. Let's recap with a story. You're at a dinner party. You meet someone new, let's call him Arjun. You shake hands and say, nice to meet you. So, what's your story? Arjun chuckles and says, well, I used to be a chef, but now I'm launching a food app. You echo, a food app. He lights up. Yeah, like helping people find street food anywhere. Later, someone else joins and asks what you do. Instead of saying, I'm a freelance designer, you say, I help small brands look big with clean visuals. By the end of the night, people remember you not because you were loud or flashy but because you made them feel seen, heard, and interested. That's what Lowndes wants us to learn. Part 3, Becoming a Better Listener and Reading People's Cues. So far, we've learned how to make powerful first impressions and start engaging conversations. But here's the secret most people miss. The best talkers aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who listen the best. Lyle Lowndes says, being a good listener is like being a human magnet. People feel drawn to you without knowing why. Let's explore how listening real, active listening can completely transform your social skills. The myth of listening. Most people think they're good listeners. But often, while someone else is talking, we're busy preparing our response. Or checking our phone. Or drifting into our own thoughts. That's not listening. That's waiting to talk. Real listening is about being fully present, not just hearing words, but picking up on tone, body language, and what's not being said. Story, the coffee shop test. Picture this. You're in a coffee shop, and the person across from you is talking about their recent job change. They say, yeah, I switched companies last month. It's been an adjustment. Now, most people would nod and move on. But a good listener would catch that pause. That hesitation. You lean in and ask gently, an adjustment? How so? That one question could open the door to a real conversation, one they'll remember. Why? Because they felt heard. Trick 14, the Hansel and Gretel technique. Lowndes introduces something she calls the Hansel and Gretel technique. Think of conversations like a trail of breadcrumbs. People drop little clues about what matters to them as they speak. Your job is to catch those clues and ask about them. Example. They say, I'm taking care of my mom lately, it's been tough. You could ask about their mom's health. Or what tough has looked like for them. It's not about being nosy, it's about being genuinely curious. This is how strangers become friends and how small talk turns into real talk. Trick 15, use the aha ladder. Active listening isn't just nodding. Lowndes suggests climbing the aha ladder, starting with simple acknowledgements and moving up in energy as the conversation deepens. Start with Really? No way, then what happened? That's amazing. These small responses show you're not just listening, you're feeling what they're saying. And it encourages them to open up more. Trick 16, watch their feet. Yes, really. Lowndes says the most honest part of the body isn't the face, it's the feet. Why? Because people control their facial expressions. But their feet? That's where true comfort or discomfort shows. If someone's feet are pointing toward you during a conversation, they're engaged. If one foot starts pointing away or toward the door, they might be trying to wrap it up. This tiny detail helps you read people better in real time. Trick 17, master the art of the pause. Silence can feel awkward, but it's also powerful. Lowndes recommends letting there be a short pause after someone finishes speaking. Don't rush to fill the silence. Often, people will say something deeper if you simply wait a second longer. It shows you're not just there to respond, you're there to understand. Trick 18, mirror their energy. Have you ever noticed how people who are close often start to act alike? That's called mirroring, and you can use it to build rapport instantly. If someone is calm and speaks slowly, mirror that calm tone. If they're enthusiastic and expressive, you can raise your energy a bit to meet theirs. It's not about faking it, it's about creating harmony. When you match someone's energy, they feel more connected to you without even realizing why. Trick 19, don't interrupt their story. This might seem obvious, but it's one of the most common mistakes. Someone starts telling a story and halfway through, we jump in with our own experience. Like this. Last month I went skydiving. Oh. I did that last year, it was wild. Now, their story gets pushed aside. Lowndes says, let them finish. Ask questions. Make it their moment. There will be time for your story, just not yet. Trick 20, give back their words. Here's a subtle but powerful trick. When someone shares something meaningful, repeat a keyword or phrase back to them later in the conversation. Example. They say, I've been feeling burned out lately. Later, you say, it sounds like that burnout's really been weighing on you. It shows them that what they said stuck with you. That you cared enough to remember. And that's rare. Final story, listening like no one else. Let's bring it together with one last story. At a dinner gathering, Mia was surrounded by loud personalities. People were laughing, debating, interrupting. But Mia? She stayed quiet. When someone spoke to her, she leaned in. She nodded, asked thoughtful follow-ups, and remembered details. By the end of the night, 5 different people had told her. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed talking to you. Not because she was the most charming. Not because she talked the most. But because she listened the best. And in a world full of noise, being truly heard is unforgettable. Part 4, making people instantly like you. We all know that likability is a mysterious thing. Some people just walk into a room and everyone gravitates toward them. Is it charm? Is it looks? Is it luck? Lyle Lowndes says it's none of those. It's skill. And it can be learned. In this part, we're going to uncover how to become that person, how to make people feel good the moment you enter a room, and how to become instantly likable in a natural, genuine way. Let's begin with a story. Story, the elevator encounter. Imagine this. You step into an elevator. A stranger is already inside. You nod politely and pull out your phone. That's what most people do. But what if you smiled and said, long day? The stranger chuckles and replies, tell me about it. I've been in meetings since 8 a.m. That tiny moment of connection turns the silence into something warm. That's the beginning of likability, acknowledging people and making them feel seen. Trick 21, the flooding smile. Lowndes shares a simple but powerful technique, don't flash your smile too quickly. When we meet someone, we often smile automatically. But if you delay your smile by just a second, then let it slowly spread, it feels more personal and sincere. Imagine someone looking at you, pausing for a moment, and then giving a soft, genuine smile as if it's just for you. That's the flooding smile. It tells the other person, I'm glad to see you. It creates warmth instantly and they won't forget it. Trick 22, sticky eyes. We tend to glance away during conversations, especially when we're nervous. But confident, likable people hold eye contact just a little longer. Lowndes calls this technique sticky eyes, like your eyes are gently sticking to theirs. Not in a creepy way, but in a way that shows full attention. And here's the bonus, when you finally do look away, do it slowly. That gentle break keeps the connection strong. Trick 23, pretend they're royalty. This one sounds funny, but it works like magic. When you meet someone, whether it's your boss, a client, a neighbor, imagine they're royalty. Why? Because when you mentally place someone in high regard, your body language changes naturally. You stand straighter. You give them your full attention. You speak with more warmth and care. People can sense that respect even if you never say it aloud. And guess what? We like people who like us. The more important you make them feel, the more likable you become. Trick 24, the exclusive smile. Here's another little known trick. When you're in a group, avoid doing a general group smile. Instead, focus your smile on one person at a time even if you smile at everyone eventually. This creates the feeling that your smile was meant just for them. They'll remember it. It's subtle. But these are the moments that make someone think, I don't know why, but I really like them. Story, the airport lounge test. Let's say you're in an airport lounge waiting for your flight. You see a woman reading a book you love. You could ignore it, or say, that book changed how I think about success. She lights up. Me too. I'm halfway through and already rethinking everything. You ask about her favorite part. She shares a quote. You respond thoughtfully. No pressure. No showing off. Just curiosity and warmth. In just a few minutes, a stranger feels like a friend. Why? Because you noticed her. Because you made her feel interesting. And because your interest was genuine. That's likability in action. Trick 25, be a mood mirror. People naturally mirror each other emotionally. If someone's down, we might get quiet. If they're upbeat, we tend to smile more. But likable people do this on purpose. Lowndes suggests being a mood mirror, gently matching the emotional tone of the person you're with. If they're excited, show excitement. If they're serious, respond calmly. If they're confused, offer clarity. By syncing with their mood, you show emotional intelligence and make them feel instantly comfortable. Trick 26, give them a reputation to live up to. This one is subtle but incredibly effective. Let's say you're meeting someone shy at a networking event. After a few minutes of conversation, you say, you know, you strike me as someone who's really thoughtful. Now, what happens? They become more thoughtful. They try to live up to it. Lowndes calls this giving people a high-value label. It's like planting a seed. It makes people feel good and often, they try to prove you right. Final story, the warm host. At a small dinner party, everyone remembered Maya not because she was loud or told the best stories. But because when each guest arrived, she greeted them by name, smiled warmly, and asked one personal question. How's your new job going? Did your sister visit last weekend? Did you ever try that recipe you mentioned? These small touches made people feel remembered, valued, welcomed. By the end of the night, people said, Maya is just so easy to like. And that's the goal. Not to impress. Not to perform. Just to connect with care, presence, and genuine interest. Part 5, Handling Social Anxiety and Difficult Situations. Talking to people can be fun until it's not. You walk into a room and suddenly your throat feels tight. You want to speak, but your mind goes blank. Or someone makes a rude comment, and you just freeze. We've all been there. Lyle Lowndes doesn't just teach how to talk to anyone, she teaches how to keep talking when it gets hard. In this part, we explore how to handle social anxiety, bounce back from awkward moments, and deal with difficult people calmly, confidently, and with grace. Story, the Frozen Conference. Imagine this. Anna was invited to speak at her company's annual conference. Just a 5-minute introduction. But as she stepped up to the mic, something strange happened. Her voice shook. Her hands were cold. And her brain felt empty. She rushed through the words, barely breathing, and sat back down feeling embarrassed. Later, her boss said kindly, "Don't worry, everyone's been there. The truth is, even the most confident people feel nervous. The difference is, they've learned how to handle those nerves." Trick 27, the fight or flight flip. Lowndes explains that social anxiety is just your body's fight or flight system kicking in. Your brain thinks it's in danger. But you're not being chased by a tiger, you're about to speak at a meeting or meet someone new. So how do you flip it? Reframe it. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm scared," tell yourself, "I'm excited." This small mental shift turns panic into energy. Nervousness and excitement feel the same in the body: racing heart, butterflies, fast breathing. So relabel the feeling. Use it. Say, "I'm pumped for this." Let's go. Trick 28, the sneaky rehearsal. Let's say you're going to a party and you're dreading small talk. Here's what pros do: they prepare 3 talking points ahead of time. Think of a compliment: I love your outfit, where did you get it? A current event: did you hear about that mission to Mars? A personal story: I just tried cooking Thai food for the first time. This doesn't make you robotic, it gives you confidence. You won't be grasping for something to say. You'll already have ammo. And once you're in the flow, it becomes natural. Trick 29, the broken record calm. Sometimes, you face someone difficult. They interrupt. They criticize. They won't take no for an answer. Lowndes teaches the broken record technique. Stay calm. Keep repeating your point in a steady, polite voice. Example: them, come on, just stay a little longer. You, thanks, but I really have to go. Them, why? It's early. You, I know, but I really have to go. Them, you're no fun. You, smiles, maybe next time. I really have to go. No anger. No drama. Just your words, repeated. Like a broken record. It works surprisingly well and keeps your dignity intact. Story: the cool customer trick. Jake was once caught in an awkward silence on a date. Both of them stared at their drinks, unsure what to say. Instead of panicking, Jake smiled and said, "Okay, I have to admit I'm totally blanking right now." She laughed. "Me too. Let's hit reset." That honesty broke the tension. Lowndes says this is key: don't fear the awkward moment. Own it. If your mind goes blank, or you say the wrong thing, smile. Breathe. Move on. People don't remember perfection. They remember how you made them feel. And being real makes them feel safe. Trick 30, give yourself permission to pause. You don't have to respond instantly. In fact, taking a pause makes you look more thoughtful and confident. When someone asks a question, don't rush. Smile. Nod. Think. Say, that's a good question, and give yourself a beat. It shows maturity. It gives your brain time. And it slows the pace, so everyone feels more relaxed. Trick 31, anchor yourself. If you feel overwhelmed in a crowd, pick a physical anchor. Hold a glass. Keep a thumb in your pocket. Touch your bracelet. This small physical action gives you control. It brings your focus back to your body and away from racing thoughts. Lowndes says even professional speakers use this. They might hold a pen or place one hand on a lectern. Anchors are your secret weapon against spiraling nerves. Trick 32, praise in public. Let's talk about dealing with tough personalities, especially people who make you feel small. Lowndes has a surprising suggestion: catch them doing something right and praise them. In public. Example: a difficult coworker who usually challenges your ideas suddenly says something helpful in a meeting. You say, "I really liked your point about simplifying the process, that's smart." That public recognition disarms them. It flips the power dynamic. And it often turns adversaries into allies. Story: the invisible power of grace. Sarah had always avoided speaking up at family gatherings. Her uncle was loud and sarcastic. He loved to tease her. One day, during a heated dinner debate, she looked him in the eye and said calmly, "That's a fair point. I hadn't thought of it that way." He blinked. Then smiled. "Thanks. I didn't think you were even listening." That was the moment Sarah stopped hiding. Because real confidence isn't about being loud. It's about being calm under pressure. About speaking with warmth even when you're nervous. About staying true to yourself even in chaos. Part 6, winning hearts in business, networking, and public speaking. Let's step into the world of handshakes, networking events, office meetings, and public speeches. Sounds intimidating? It doesn't have to be. Whether you're walking into a business meeting or standing in front of a crowd, your ability to connect with people determines everything: how much trust you build, how much influence you have, and ultimately, how successful you become. In this part, we explore how to be charismatic and confident in professional settings without being fake or trying too hard. Story: the elevator pitch that wasn't. Lucas was an intern at a big company. One day, he stepped into the elevator and found himself face to face with the CEO. Panic. Should he say something? Stay silent. He blurted out, "Hi, I'm Lucas. I work in marketing." The CEO smiled. "What are you working on these days?" Lucas froze. Then remembered something Lyle Lowndes said in her book. Instead of reciting his resume, he said, "We're trying a new idea to increase engagement. It's early, but it might double our online leads. Simple. Direct. Confident." By the time the elevator stopped, the CEO said, "Interesting. Let's talk more sometime." That's how you win in business. By being real and ready. Trick 33, the Hansel and Gretel strategy. Lowndes calls this the Hansel and Gretel trick. In conversation, especially in business, leave little breadcrumbs about your interests, passions, and goals. Instead of dumping your whole story, sprinkle in hints. Example. Rather than saying, "I run my own business," say, "I was up early working on a launch. It's a bit stressful, but exciting." If the person is curious, they'll follow the breadcrumb. It creates a pull, not a push. It makes you more interesting without sounding like you're trying to impress. Trick 34, never the naked thank you. Let's say someone helps you at work. Don't just say, "Thanks." Instead, say, "Thank you for staying late. I know you had a full day. That really helped the project." Why? Because details add depth. Lowndes says naked thank yous are forgettable. But when you add a specific reason, the person feels truly seen and appreciated. And in business, making others feel valued is pure gold. Trick 35, echoing for connection. During a meeting or networking event, echoing someone's keywords shows you're listening and builds rapport fast. Let's say someone says, "I've been struggling to balance remote work and homeschooling." You reply, "That balance can be tough. Have you found anything that helps?" Just repeating the word balance makes them feel heard. This tiny technique makes your conversation smoother and your connections deeper. Story, the business card surprise. Maya attended a startup event where everyone exchanged business cards. But instead of just handing hers over, she wrote a short note on the back. "Great chat about AI tools. Let's explore a collab." The next day, her inbox had 3 replies. Lowndes teaches, personal touches stand out. Whether it's writing on a card, mentioning a shared story, or following up with a thoughtful message, it's these extras that turn contacts into relationships. Trick 36, don't just speak. Pause. You're in a meeting. You've got a good point. So you say it fast, trying not to waste time. But the most powerful speakers, they speak, and pause. They let their words land. Lowndes points out that confident communicators don't rush. They let silence do some of the talking. A pause after a key point makes people reflect. It gives weight to your message. Try it in your next pitch, speech, or presentation and notice the difference. Trick 37, play the tombstone game. Here's a question Lowndes suggests for business networking that sparks deep, meaningful conversations. If you could write anything on your tombstone, one sentence, what would it be? This sounds dramatic, but it cuts past small talk. You learn what drives people, what they value, what they hope to leave behind. In return, you get remembered not as another handshaker, but as someone who really talked. Trick 38, always be the first to say hello. It sounds basic, but it's powerful. The moment you enter a meeting, a seminar, or a lunchroom, be the first to greet someone. You don't have to be loud or overconfident. Just a simple, "Hi, I don't think we've met yet, I'm Ravi," can open countless doors. In professional settings, initiative is influence. People like those who make the first move. It puts others at ease and shows leadership, even in small interactions. Story, the public speaker who didn't perform. Raj was terrified of giving presentations. So he practiced endlessly. Memorized every line. But his first few talks still felt stiff, like he was performing, not connecting. One day, he changed his approach. Instead of trying to present, he spoke like he was telling a story to a friend. He slowed down. Made eye contact. Even laughed at his own mistake. Afterward, someone said, "That was the most relatable talk I've heard." Lowndes reminds us, people don't want perfect. They want real. Whether you're pitching a project, chatting at a conference, or introducing yourself to a new team, the real secret is this. Be curious, not clever. Be warm, not polished. Be human, not a robot trying to impress. That's how you talk to anyone, even in business. So, what have we learned? From the moment you walk into a room, to the way you smile, make eye contact, and carry yourself, to how you spark conversations and make others feel truly seen. It all matters. Lyle Lowndes reminds us that people don't just remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And with just a few intentional changes like a warmer smile, steadier eye contact, and confident posture, you can go from being unnoticed to unforgettable. But remember, these aren't tricks in the sneaky sense. They're tools to help you unlock the connection that's already possible. Because the truth is, you already have something valuable to offer. Whether you're networking, dating, making friends, or simply trying to feel more comfortable in your own skin, this book gives you the blueprint. Now, it's your turn. Try one of the 92 techniques today. Just one. Notice how it changes the way people respond to you and how you feel in return. Want to see more book breakdowns like this? Like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Which trick will you try first? Thanks for watching Books Arena, where great books meet real life transformation. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep connecting.